Other than the coronavirus pandemic, the 2020 presidential election is the biggest story being talked about right now. We are just days away from the election, but many people have been voting early in their states. Americans have already cast a record-breaking 66 million early ballots, putting the 2020 election on track for historic levels of voter turnout. Many political professionals are saying that this is one of the most consequential elections in our history. April Nadine, an early voter, says who she is voting for and why.
I am actually voting for Biden today. I assume you're talking about president. I am voting for Biden today, mostly because I'm just so disappointed in President Trump and how now that he's eschewing science even and acting like people who believe in science are crazy. And actually, science isn't a belief, it's a fact. So I think that's just it's just not a good representation for the United States. And not just that, there are many other things, and how he makes fun of people and isn't presidential at all. And Joe Biden wouldn't have been my first choice, honestly, but I think he will hopefully bring a little bit more decorum back to the Oval Office.
According to the latest national poll, Biden has a 10-point lead against Trump, 52 to 42%. And in the Indiana state poll, Trump has a 10-point lead against Biden, 54 to 44%. Voting is a right that Americans can exercise. It's the average American's most powerful tool to make a change in his or her society. So cast your ballot now. It's your civil duty. Reporting for Access USI, I'm Kane Jones.
With your Access USI weather update, I'm Cameron Ellis, and we currently have a tropical system taking place down in the Gulf of Mexico, and that is Hurricane Zeta. Currently a Category 1 hurricane with a maximum sustained wind of 85 miles per hour, moving out of the north-northwest at 17 miles per hour. And as of the latest update from the National Hurricane Center this morning, they're forecasting it to make landfall this afternoon as a Category 2 hurricane into the New Orleans area. And then as it works its way up inland, it'll then become a tropical storm at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then it will become a tropical depression as it works its way off to the east coast by tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And then it'll go into the Atlantic and re-strengthen as a tropical storm by early Friday morning. The overall impact of this system for us here in the tri-state will be the moisture that is generated off of this system that will be bringing us rain as early as this evening. Here it is on Futurecast. Knows as we go hour by hour, this rain will be here right around dinner time tonight, and it will be bringing up much heavier rain from the south as we go into the overnight tonight, and it'll be sticking around with us throughout the overnight into the day tomorrow, and it'll become light at times, but it is possible that some more heavy rain could generate throughout the afternoon into the evening, and then that rain will be exiting as we go towards right around 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, and then much drier weather awaits us as we head into the day on Friday. With that heavy rain does come the potential for some flooding issues, which is why the National Weather Service has a flood watch in effect for almost all the tri-state until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Here's the latest projected rain totals with this system by 7 a.m. on Friday. Currently right around 1.5 inches for the northern half of the tri-state, and much greater amounts the further south you go. Right around 2.4 inches of rain here in Evansville, and as close to 3 inches down in Madisonville, Kentucky. If you're going to be headed on or off campus throughout this time while the rain is around and these flooding issues are present, if you do encounter any flooded roadways, be sure to avoid them at all costs. Don't go through them, and it's not worth the risk. Turn around, don't drown. You'll be glad you took that alternate route. Beyond that, we're expecting cloudy skies ahead of the rain today, and temperatures only climbing to the upper 50s for highs. Then that rain chance picks up tonight to 100% chance. Temperatures are not going to drop a whole lot, only down to 53 for an overnight low. Winds are also going to pick up as that system moves in, and we'll be seeing winds out of the northeast at 13 miles per hour. And then that rain continues tomorrow, only climbing to a high of 55 degrees. The winds will gust a little bit higher there out of the north-northeast at 16 miles per hour. Once we get through this tropical system, it will then bring on much drier weather as we close out the week. The clouds will stick around through the weekend, but then we'll lose out on the cloud cover and the sunshine returns next week. Temperatures, on the other hand, they're going to be cooling down into the mid-50s through the end of the week, but a nice little brief warm-up on Saturday into the lower 60s. before more cooler air filters in as we close out the weekend and head into next week, as highs will be in the mid to low 50s. Overnight lows on Sunday night could drop to 30 degrees, and then we're back to the mid 60s for highs by Wednesday. That's the latest update. I'm Cameron Dulles. Your sports is next. Stay with us.
The USI men's and women's basketball teams get set for the 2020-2021 basketball season. The schedule for the Eagles will look a little different this season. USI Athletic Director John Mark Hall tells us what the schedule will look like.
It's a GOVC only schedule, and so we'll have 22 games against our GOVC foes. And again, our men's and women's basketball team, coaches and staff are super excited to get that out to you and to the public. So we can, as we're not very far away from when we start near the end of November.
The first game of the season for the Eagles is November 27th at Screaming Eagles Arena. Things will be a little different this season for the Eagles and their fans.
USI and the GOVC has decided that our games will be essential personnel only. So we will not have fans in the stands for our games. We will evaluate that situation often. And again, ultimately, we hope that that will change and everything will be better. And maybe we can get either a limited amount of fans at some point in time in the stands, or a lot of fans in the stands by the end of the season. But as of right now, we're going to start the season with essential personnel only. That'll be home and road games, and we'll see how this thing plays out. Hopefully, this things will get better, and maybe we'll be able to pivot along the way.
To catch all the Screaming Eagles basketball action you can, tune into 95.7 The Spin or the GLVC Sports Network. For this USI Sports Update, I'm Stuart Brooking.
You can hear the clacking of wheels as they glide over the cracks on pavement across campus as longboarders go for an evening excursion. Kevin Bland, a senior advertising and PR major, said longboarding allows him to finally get out of the house. He said riding to new places on his longboard allowed him to discover new things and places in Evansville he has never seen before. Raneet Mishori, a professor of family medicine, suggests students have a limited social life. She said doing this limits your exposure to the virus compared to activities that involve large groups. Reporting for Access USI, I'm Hayden Olberding.